Would you believe me if I told you that in Vietnam, you can live comfortably on less than what you pay for rent back home? In fact, the average cost of living in Vietnam is 62% lower than in the US. Retiring with just $1,000 a month sounds like a fantasy until you look at Vietnam. This Southeast Asian gem is drawing retirees from around the world for its warm climate, low cost of living, amazing food, and seriously underrated lifestyle. But is it really possible to thrive here on just $1,000 a month? Seriously? Only $1,000? Let's break down what $1,000 actually gets you in Vietnam, from housing and healthcare to food and fun. Welcome back to Retire Without Borders, the channel where I show you the ins and outs of retiring overseas. Okay, so let's be honest for a second. The idea of retiring abroad sounds exciting, but once the daydream wears off, most people get hit with some real concerns. What if I can't speak the language? Is it safe there? Can I afford healthcare? Will I be lonely? These are real fears, and for good reason. You don't want to move across the world just to struggle or feel isolated. But here's the thing, with the right planning, these problems aren't deal breakers. They're just speed bumps. And today, I'm going to show you how to roll right over them. First off, let me go over the visa process. Obtaining a visa to live in Vietnam as an American retiree is relatively straightforward, but it requires some planning. Vietnam did not offer a specific retirement visa like some other countries, but as of 2025, they do offer the Golden Visa. This offers long-term residency for investors, skilled professionals, and retirees. This visa allows foreigners to stay in Vietnam for 5 to 10 years, with options for renewal. You can apply online or through Vietnamese embassies and consulates abroad. Another approach is to apply for a temporary resident card, TRC, if you're eligible, often by setting up a small business or through sponsorship. While it might require occasional border runs or renewals, many American retirees successfully live in Vietnam year-round using these legal methods. Working with a reputable visa service in Vietnam can help streamline the process and ensure you remain compliant with local regulations. Let's talk housing. So you have your visa and are ready to move. Where do you live? How much will it cost? Let's start with the city of Daang. Nestled between the mountains and the sea, Daang offers a striking blend of natural beauty and modern convenience that continues to captivate expats from around the world. With its long golden beaches, high-rise condos overlooking the water, and a rapidly growing digital infrastructure, the city feels like Vietnam's answer to coastal urban living. It's clean, organized, and still manages to retain a laid-back atmosphere that makes it ideal for both retirees and remote workers seeking a balance between work and leisure. The nearby ancient towns of Hoi An and Huy offer cultural escapes, while Da Nang itself hums with a sense of new opportunity. However, one must be prepared for its seasonal typhoons and the buzz of construction that comes with rapid development. Next up is Ho Chi Minh City, formerly known as Saigon. If Vietnam has a heartbeat, it pulses in Ho Chi Minh City. This sprawling metropolis rarely sleeps and offers expats a lifestyle bursting with energy, business opportunity, and cosmopolitan flair. From rooftop bars to high-end shopping malls, from street-side noodle stalls to global co-working hubs, the city thrives in its contrasts. Expats come here not just to retire, but to build businesses, networks, and a fast-paced life. Modern hospitals, international schools, and global cuisine make life convenient, but it comes at the cost of constant noise, relentless traffic, and occasional poor air quality. For those who thrive on motion and ambition, though, Saigon is irresistible. Next up is Hanoi. Elegant and contemplative, Hanoi feels like a living museum wrapped in the rituals of daily life. Its lakes, narrow alleys, and colonial architecture speak to centuries of history, making it a favorite for expats who value culture over convenience. Life here moves at a slower, more deliberate pace than in the south. The food is subtly spiced, the winters are cool and misty, and the art scene is quietly thriving. While English is less widely spoken and the social scene more restrained, Hanoi offers a deep, enduring charm for those willing to learn its rhythms. It's a city for writers, educators, and retirees drawn to tradition and reflection. So you have some ideas. Next comes the biggest expense, rent. In major Vietnamese cities like Ho Chi Minh City or Hanoi, you can rent a fully furnished, one-bedroom apartment for $300 to $450 a month. Want to go smaller? Studios go for as low as $200 in smaller cities like Daang or Nha Trang. What if you want to purchase property? Americans cannot technically own land in Vietnam because all land is owned by the government. However, foreigners, including Americans, can legally own property in Vietnam under certain conditions. Since the 2015 housing law reform, foreigners can purchase, lease, and sell condominiums and apartment units in most major cities. The most common method is through a 50-year leasehold agreement, which can often be renewed. Foreigners can buy property in their own name as long as it's in a building where less than 30% of the units are owned by non-Vietnamese nationals. For retirees, owning a condo in places like Da Nang, Nha Trang, or Ho Chi Minh City is a popular option. It's important to work with a trustworthy local real estate agent and have contracts reviewed by a legal professional who understands both US and Vietnamese property law. While you won't technically own the land, you can enjoy full ownership rights over your unit, including the right to live in it, rent it out, or sell it later. Bonus, utilities rarely cross the $50 mark, and Wi-Fi? That's like tens a month. What about food? Vietnamese cuisine is next-level good and insanely affordable. Growing up in Orange County, California, I was exposed to pho regularly. In fact, during the editing of this video, I realized I was hungry and started frying up some banh mi. But back to Vietnam. A bowl of hot pho in Da Nang? It will run you $1.50. I could eat pho every day. Food in Vietnam is not just nourishment. It's an experience that unfolds in layers of flavor, geography, and culture. From north to south, the country's culinary landscape shifts like a watercolor painting, each region adding its own brushstrokes to a national identity rooted in balance and freshness. In Hanoi, meals are understated but deeply nuanced. Bowls of steaming pho with delicate beef broth, crispy banh quan, filled with ground pork and mushrooms, and strong egg coffee that feels like dessert in a cup. Central Vietnam, with cities like Hue and Hoi An, leans toward bold spices and intricate preparation, offering dishes like bun bo hue, a spicy beef noodle soup, and khao lao, a savory noodle dish steeped in legend and local spring water. Down south, in Ho Chi Minh City and the Mekong Delta, the food becomes sweeter, louder, and more colorful. Think caramelized clay pot fish, ca kho to, tropical fruits by the armful, and banh mi sandwiches that explode with crunch and zest. Oh, and dinner will only run you $1. Street food reigns supreme across the country, often served from small carts or plastic stools on busy sidewalks. And despite regional differences, every dish shares a common philosophy: balance between hot and cold, sweet and salty, crunchy and soft. Eating in Vietnam isn't just part of daily life. It's a joy, a ritual, and for many expats, a reason to stay. If you're eating local, you can honestly get by on $5 to $7 a day. Even eating at Western-style restaurants a couple of times a week still keeps your food budget under $200 a month. Now, onto something very important for every aging American: healthcare. Well, it is surprisingly excellent. Vietnam has made huge leaps in healthcare. Private hospitals in major cities are clean, modern, and often staffed with doctors trained overseas. Many speak English. A doctor's visit? That will cost around $20. A dental cleaning? $15. Prescription meds will run about half the cost in the United States. And expat health insurance plans? You can get solid coverage for $50 to $80 a month, depending on your age and coverage level. So you're well fed and healthy. What do you do while living there? Here's where Vietnam really shines. Leisure. You can enjoy daily walks on the beach in Daang. You can take part in yoga or Tai Chi in public parks. They have coffee shop culture that rivals Italy. Again, I can't stress enough how good Vietnamese coffee is. You can take weekend trips to tropical islands, rice terraces, or mountain towns. Transportation in Vietnam is crazy cheap too. A scooter ride across town will cost $1.50. A monthly bus pass is under $10. You don't just live in Vietnam, you experience it. So let's break down the budget. Let's say your monthly income is a 1,000. Here's what your spending could look like. Rent for a furnished one-bed apartment, $350. Utilities and internet will cost $50. Food, mostly local, $200. Health insurance will cost maybe $70. Transportation, $30. Entertainment, $150. You'll want to put $150 away for savings and emergency funds. Boom! Your total spend for a month is $1,000. Try and beat that living in any state in the United States. So, what are some real-world experiences from Americans who moved to Vietnam? Let me tell you about David. He's 68, originally from Arizona. He used to work in construction. When he retired, he knew his U.S. Social Security check wouldn't stretch far. He made the leap to Vietnam after a vacation to Hoi An. Now, he lives in a beachside apartment for $375,000 a month, spends his mornings biking to the market, his afternoons volunteering at a local school, and his evenings sipping Vietnamese coffee by the river. Have you ever had a Vietnamese coffee? It is fantastic. When I asked him if he missed anything about the US, he said, just the NFL. But I have good internet, so I stream it now. So even that's covered. What blew me away most was when he said, I have less money here, but I live way richer. So is it possible to retire in Vietnam on $1,000 a month? Not only is it possible for many people, but it's also better than scraping by back home. You get more peace, more adventure, and more life for less. Sure, you'll face a few culture shocks, but isn't that what makes it fun? Watch this next video to see the 7 essential tips you must know before you retire overseas.